Good morning and welcome to Nigeria Now, showing on your digital first Pan-African news network 2S Television. My name is Merciful Ajinamo. Joining me in the studio to analyze some stories this morning is Felix Adetobubo. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
How's it going?
Thank you.
Okay, let's begin from the Daily Independent newspaper this morning. The banner headline right there is saying insecurity won't stop investors coming to Nigeria. And of course, that's coming from the presidency. We can get that on page 6 of the Daily Independent newspaper. I would like to ask if you do agree with this statement that insecurity won't stop investors coming to Nigeria, contrary to what some Nigerians have said in the past, that the state of our insecurity is one of the reasons why our economy is not growing.
I don't agree with that statement.
Okay.
Last week, the president was in Dubai, the UAE, for I think a summit on something like this, and he said it that Nigeria is the best place to invest and the rest. You know, to me, that's political. Just trying to, as the president of Nigeria, trying to sell the country, you know, to the world. But immediately he came back. The following day, he came back. You know, a report came out that took Nigeria to number 15. You know, that dropped Nigeria to 15th position in African countries where you can invest. So you can see, you know, the disparity between the two. So with the insecurity we have, a lot of investors have left Nigeria, and some are still scared of even coming to Nigeria because where you don't really have a place where you are sure of your security, why would you want to, you know, invest in that place? So the government has to do more in putting the security architecture together to bring more investors and not all these political statements.
Okay, still on the Daily Independent newspaper, from the very top there, we see protesting AEDC workers plunge Abuja, Niger, others into darkness. We can get out on page 23 of the Daily Independent. And then British Airways bars Nigerians on board its flight. To have riders on that particular story, the minister says UK's action more of emotional than scientific. And then Ojikutu links ban to economic diplomatic issues. We can get all of that on page 29. And besides the picture of the day there, we see Darwin College student's death, big slap on Lagos, coming from Sanwo-Olu's wife. We can get our story on page 6. The National Assembly will insist on prudent use of COVID-19 funds, coming from the Senate President. That can be found on page 7. And then Supreme Court hears Seconda's appeal challenging removal today. On COVID-19 Omicron, federal government kicks against restrictions imposed on Nigerian travelers, says vaccines to cover 70% of population available. Of course, that story can be found on page 6 of the Daily Independent newspaper. And then we'll see why federal government launched virtual court in prison. That can be found on page 6. Federal government established 6 plant health clinics, page 2. And pirates abduct civil defense officer for others in Bayelsa State. Talking about COVID-19 Omicron, this story that federal government kicks against restrictions imposed on Nigerian travelers. I do know that in the last couple of days, African countries, including Nigeria, has found out how we have been stigmatized with the Omicron variant, and we've had so many ban on travel from Europe and some other countries. And some are saying, of course, it was not originated from South Africa. It was only discovered. And what can you say of this story?
We also talked about this last week, but I don't want to totally agree with the fact that we are being discriminated. Because going back to what happened last year, when the issue of, in fact, from 2019, December 2019, when this thing started from Wuhan in China, the COVID-19 case started from Wuhan, you know, because it was something new, we didn't really know how to tackle it immediately. Now, it spread all over in March 2000. Nigeria to start, you know, coming up on this issue of lockdown and the rest, the nationwide lockdown. You see, I don't believe it's discriminatory because we have to take proper measure to handle this, because this seems to be more dangerous than the normal COVID-19 that we know. So this goes straight to the heart and in no time it kills. So if the UK or any other European countries are trying to shut down before, don't forget, one of the major things that that brought out that made the president of the U.S., the former president of the U.S., Donald Trump, to lose the election. That the people really that they held against him then was that he didn't shut their borders on time. He didn't put travel bans on some countries on time. And if the whole world now is now saying that is the best way to do, then let's leave it that way. Or is it that the elites wants to travel abroad for Christmas? Is that the reason why they are making all this noise? I still don't believe that is discriminatory. Let's handle this thing and let's handle it well. It's to save the whole world. It's to save everybody. If they feel that that is the best thing to do, let everywhere be blocked. Nigeria too should shut their own borders from allowing others to come into Nigeria. For now, you understand? Though we are going to lose, economically, because we are consuming nations. We don't produce. So we are expecting people to still come, But we have to shut our own borders too, so that others don't bring it down to Nigeria. Are you getting my points now? If you see the cases, in UK in the last time, it's more than what we had in Nigeria. So you don't expect them to just fold their hands. Look at what happened in the US. Do you know how many people that died in the US? You know how many people that died in the UK? How many people died in Nigeria? So we should also think about them too. What they stand to also lose if this thing keeps spreading. So
I think some of the points some people have raised is the fact that there have been cases in some countries, and those countries have not placed ban on some European countries. So it feels as if the African continent is feeling the brunt of this ban more than the other countries, and that's where they're coming from.
It's not their fault because we've depended on these people for so long, so they treat us the way they like. If we are coming to that line, we've depended on. Okay, how many vaccines have we produced since this thing started in Africa? How many? Senegal tried. In fact, they tried this test tube, but this test is whatever that they use. It was even free. How many people were tested in Nigeria? We believe totally on them. Even the drugs to be used, the jab, we believe that they are the ones to see sent to us. They control everything. They control our economy. They control our health system. They control everything. So if they are saying that they are shutting, they are stopping us from coming for now, so why are we complaining? If we don't want to complain, let's start doing the needful ourselves. They will also be depending on us.
Let's go quickly into Daily Trust newspaper. The banner headline there is Kanu APC crisis. Tinubu to meet Ganduje as field threatens 2023 ambition. We have a couple of others on that story. You can get out on page 5, of course, of the Daily Trust newspaper. And then we see Omicron, federal government rejects ban, accuses UK of travel appetite. Yes, we've spoken about that story. On the Daily Times, the banner headline right there is resign ban on Nigeria over Omicron. Federal government tells Britain. Of course, we've spoken about that. On the very top, remain apolitical. Professional, Buhari urges army. And then underneath, we see Kaduna bandits declare war on Benin Gwari, kidnap scores. You can get out on page 3 of the Daily Times newspaper. Of course, the same story is on the Nigerian News Direct. Omicron, federal government urges UK to leave ban on Nigerian travelers. From the other stories just beside the picture of the day there, 3 trillion naira foreign trade deficit. Nigeria import hits 8.2 trillion naira, rises by 60.78% against 5.1 trillion naira export. And then we see Nigeria's tax to GDP ratio only accurate when state, local government, other revenues are included. That's coming from FIRS. On the blueprint, of course, still talking about the travel ban on Nigeria, with they're saying federal government to UK on Omicron. Travel ban on Nigeria lacks common sense, not science driven. And then Abuja, 4 states in darkness as electricity workers shut facilities. And then we see a new story right there on page 5, 2023. Court rules on Atiku's eligibility, February 21st. On the Punch newspaper, we see some stories right there. Nigeria records 8.9 trillion naira trade deficit in 9 months. Expert blames insecurity. We can get all of that story. And of course, all the headlines that we are seeing on the Punch front page right there. Grab yourself a copy of these newspapers and read about all these stories. And of course, stay updated on our website, www.tostvnetwork.com. Our social media platform is also there for you to follow and stay updated on happenings in Nigeria and of course Africa. Thank you for joining us today on Nigeria Now. My name is Merciful Ajinomo. See you tomorrow.